In the annals of cinema, some stories remain untold, their grandeur existing only in the realm of imagination. One such epic was Stanley Kubrick's Napoleon. Imagine a blank screen, a void of expectation, then slowly, meticulously, an iconic silhouette emerges, sharp against the darkness. Napoleon Bonaparte. It's a powerful image, one that immediately poses a compelling question. What if the cinematic genius behind 2001, A Space Odyssey, the chilling foresight of A Clockwork Orange, and the unsettling realism of Dr. Strangelove had turned his meticulous gaze to the life of the French emperor? Stanley Kubrick was a filmmaker whose name became synonymous with perfectionism, a visionary who pushed the boundaries of storytelling and visual artistry. His reputation for grand scale and unparalleled detail was legendary. He never just made a film. He crafted an experience, a world. And for nearly a decade after the mind-bending success of 2001, his singular obsession was Napoleon. This wasn't merely a film project, it was to be an unprecedented historical epic, a cinematic event that would redefine the genre and capture the very essence of one of history's most complex figures. The scale and detail Kubrick envisioned for this unmade film were so immense, so ambitious, that they still captivate film enthusiasts and historians alike. The genesis of this dream began immediately after 2001, A Space Odyssey, premiered in 1968. Fresh from having revolutionized science fiction, Kubrick set his sights on the ultimate historical epic. His fascination with Napoleon was profound, almost personal. He saw in the emperor a combination of military genius, political ambition, and a tragic, almost Shakespearean downfall. Napoleon's rise from obscurity to master of Europe, his strategic brilliance, his personal life, and his ultimate exile all resonated deeply with Kubrick's thematic interests in power, control, and human nature. Kubrick's approach to pre-production was legendary. He plunged into a research phase that would put most academic institutions to shame. He devoured hundreds of books, from biographies to military histories, studying every known battle plan, every political maneuver. His team collected tens of thousands of images, meticulously cataloguing every aspect of the period. The result was the legendary Napoleon Bible, a comprehensive index and research compendium that detailed everything from the exact weather conditions on specific battle days to the precise uniforms worn by every rank. This colossal document, filled with cross-referenced notes and historical data, became the blueprint for his vision. He even had preliminary casting in mind, famously considering Jack Nicholson for the intense, driven Napoleon and Audrey Hepburn for the elegant, complicated Josephine. Kubrick's vision for immersive historical accuracy was absolute, extending down to the last button on a uniform, the exact shade of a curtain, or the precise architectural details of a palace. Now we are left to unveil what could have been. While the film was never made, Kubrick's detailed pre-production work offers us an unparalleled window into his vision. It allows us a unique opportunity to reconstruct fragments of a lost masterpiece, to delve into the mind of a genius and see the world through his meticulously planned lens. Throughout this exploration, we will highlight the specific visual aesthetics, costume designs, set pieces, and cinematic techniques that Kubrick planned to employ. This journey is not just about a film that wasn't, but about understanding how this unmade epic connects to Kubrick's existing filmography, showing how elements of his Napoleon vision might have subtly influenced later works like Barry Lyndon. It promises to be a fascinating dive into the mind of a master, revealing a historical epic that exists only in our collective imagination, yet feels incredibly real. The grand scale of battle was perhaps the most ambitious aspect of Kubrick's Napoleon. He wasn't content with mere reenactments. He envisioned battle sequences with unprecedented realism and scope, pushing the boundaries of what was cinematically possible. His plans included using tens of thousands of extras, a logistical feat that would have been staggering. There were serious discussions, even negotiations, to borrow entire armies from Eastern European countries, particularly Romania, to achieve the necessary troop numbers for his vast battlefield panoramas. Imagine the sheer visual impact of authentic massed formations clashing, not just a few hundred actors on a field. Kubrick intended to employ innovative camera techniques to capture the dynamic chaos of warfare. While drones were decades away, One can speculate he might have pioneered early forms of aerial cinematography or developed elaborate crane and tracking shots to simulate a bird's-eye view, offering a godlike perspective of the unfolding conflict, much like the detached observational gaze often found in his other films. His focus would have been unsparing in depicting the true carnage and brutality, reflecting the visceral reality of Napoleonic warfare. This approach would have stood in stark contrast to the often sanitized, romanticized historical epics prevalent in Hollywood at the time. He meticulously studied historical battle maps and strategies, ensuring every troop movement, every tactical decision would be rendered with absolute accuracy, transforming the screen into a living, breathing historical document. Beyond the battlefield, Kubrick's obsession with period-accurate costumes and production design was legendary. His research extended to the very fibers of the past. He delved into specific fabrics, colors, and tailoring techniques of the era, ensuring that every uniform, every civilian garment, and every piece of drapery was historically correct. Renowned costume designers and historical consultants were already deeply involved in his pre-production, tasked with bringing this vision to life. The film would have visually contrasted the opulent, glittering court life of Napoleon's rise with the gritty, mud-stained reality of military campaigns. We would have seen the intricate embroidery on an emperor's coat alongside the worn leather of a soldier's boots. He planned to meticulously recreate architectural styles, from the grandeur of Parisian palaces to the rustic simplicity of a Russian village, either by finding real historical locations or constructing sets with unparalleled detail. The cinematography and lighting would have borne Kubrick's unmistakable signature. Imagine the long takes, the perfectly symmetrical compositions, and the slow, deliberate zooms that defined his style, now applied to the grand canvas of 19th-century Europe. He was particularly keen on using natural light, especially candlelight for interior scenes, to enhance historical immersion. This wasn't merely an aesthetic choice, it was a psychological one, aimed at drawing the audience deeper into the character's world. Kubrick was known for his innovative use of lenses, and for Napoleon, he even considered pushing the boundaries further, perhaps developing new low-light lenses that could capture the flickering glow of candles in dimly lit ballrooms or the moonlit expanse of a battlefield with unprecedented clarity. The psychological impact of lighting on character portrayal would have been crucial, particularly for Napoleon himself. Shadows would have played across his face, highlighting his ambition, his isolation, and his eventual despair. We can almost visualize iconic scenes, the solemnity of his coronation, bathed in the soft light of Notre Dame, or the chilling, desolate expanse of the retreat from Moscow, rendered in stark, almost monochromatic tones. These visual choices were not just about historical accuracy, they were deeply connected to the themes of power, isolation, and the human condition that were central to all of Kubrick's work, promising a historical epic that was as much a psychological drama as it was a grand spectacle. Yet despite this meticulous preparation and visionary scope, Kubrick's Napoleon ultimately remained an unmade film, a cinematic ghost haunting the corridors of film history. The primary hurdle was undeniably economic. The colossal budget required for such an undertaking was estimated to be one of the most expensive films ever conceived at the time, potentially exceeding even the most extravagant productions. Studios, always wary of financial risks, grew increasingly cautious. This apprehension was significantly exacerbated by the commercial failure of Sergei Bondarchuk's Waterloo in 1970, a large-scale Napoleonic epic that, despite its grandeur, failed to resonate with audiences or recoup its massive investment. The cinematic landscape was shifting. Hollywood, once enamored with sprawling historical dramas, began to pivot towards smaller, more character-driven films in the early 1970s, a trend that further marginalized the prospects of Kubrick's ambitious project. Beyond the financial constraints, the logistical nightmare of coordinating thousands of extras, managing vast numbers of horses, and meticulously recreating complex historical settings across multiple European locations presented an almost insurmountable challenge. Kubrick, ever the perfectionist, was unwilling to compromise his vision for financial or logistical expediency. He preferred to abandon the project rather than dilute its artistic integrity, a testament to his unwavering commitment to his craft. The dream of Napoleon slowly faded, leaving behind an extraordinary testament to pre-production work, but no finished film. However, the intensive research and aesthetic vision developed for Napoleon did not simply vanish. Its echoes reverberate powerfully through Kubrick's subsequent masterpiece, Barry Lyndon. The meticulous attention to period detail, the sumptuous candlelit interiors, the use of natural light, and the exploration of a man's rise and fall in 18th century Europe all bear the unmistakable imprint of his Napoleonic preparations. Specific visual cues, from costume designs to the nuanced portrayal of aristocratic life, clearly demonstrate a transfer of knowledge and aesthetic principles from the unmade epic to the celebrated period drama. Barry Lyndon became, in many ways, the spiritual successor to Napoleon, a testament to how creative endeavors, even when unfulfilled, can shape future works. The enduring fascination with this lost Kubrick film continues to captivate film scholars, historians, and enthusiasts alike. The legendary Napoleon Bible, a compendium of over 15 hours-on index cards detailing every conceivable aspect of Napoleon's life and era, remains a testament to unparalleled cinematic research. It's a physical manifestation of Kubrick's obsessive dedication, a document that showcases the depth of his vision. The ongoing debate about whether the film could ever be made today, perhaps with the aid of new technologies like CGI to manage the battle sequences, speaks volumes about its perceived potential and the timeless appeal of Kubrick's genius. Ultimately, the story of Kubrick's Napoleon is a reflection on the bittersweet nature of unmade masterpieces. It reminds us that sometimes the detailed pre-production work itself can be a profound work of art, a silent testament to a creator's boundless imagination and meticulous dedication. We are left to ponder what impact Napoleon would have had on cinematic history, how it might have redefined our understanding of historical epics, and what new insights it could have offered into the complex figure of Bonaparte. Yet, even in its absence, the project underscores the immense power of imagination and the creative process, demonstrating that vision can inspire and endure, even when a grand ambition remains unfulfilled. So, delve into the existing materials, explore the Napoleon Bible, and consider the enduring power of ambition and vision in art. For even in its unmade state, Kubrick's Napoleon offers a profound glimpse into genius,